Good morning, Monte Vista. My name is Carissa Moore. I'm the treasurer of your board of trustees, and here are today's announcements. The adult RE class starts tomorrow at 6 p.m. on Zoom. I believe Amy has the sign-up sheet, so everybody look, there's Amy. Talk to her if you want to participate in the class. Pastoral care training begins soon. Please use the link in the community connections if interested. We have new office hours, Thursday and Friday, 8 to 2. And now to talk about our upcoming fundraising events, I will turn the microphone over to Mark Moniger from the fundraising team. Oh, Lynn Maria. Okay, let's turn it over to Lynn Maria first.
Howdy, partners. I want to invite every single one of you to Belly Up to the Bar. That's Baked Potato Bar. Next Sunday at 12 o'clock, right after service, we're asking for a $15 donation. And we have toppings like you would not believe. It's not just going to be your ordinary sour cream and butter and chives. We've got over a dozen toppings, including gluten-free and vegan, of course. We'll have coleslaw, and we're going to have, pie, lots of pie, and cookies. And so wear your jeans, bandanas, cowboy boots, cowboy hats. We're gonna have a hootin' good time. Murray has a sign-up sheet, and he's also able to take your donations today if you'd like to prepay. So that's next week. Hope you can join us.
Awesome. Okay, now I will turn the microphone over to Mark Moniger.
Okay, no, I did not pull this out of my closet. It's in the other closet. This will be our every week announcement hat. So everybody makes an announcement for this. It's going to have to wear this hat. How would you like to see a summer concert at the Hollywood Bowl from a box 4 rows from the front stage? How would you like to learn to play pickleball at a private court or get hour of pickleball drills? A meditation bowl, a massage from Massage Envy, learn how to make sushi. Well, your chance to bid on these items and more is coming up soon as our annual Spring Fling auction is set for Saturday, April 12th. Now, how can you contribute to the auction? Other than showing up and bidding on items, we could use your help with services you can donate. Can you do a themed dinner at your house? Can you make a nice cake or a special dessert that we can auction off? And I'm the auctioneer, so trust me, I can get a lot of money for some of your desserts. Right, Jeannie? How much did you pay for that cake? $75 for a cake.
It was more than that. It was a Popova. It was a huge construction.
Right. And it had a lot of THC in it too, if I remember, right? So that's how we get a lot of money for our baked goods here. Do you want to do a game night? Can you give a music lesson to someone? Can you clean a house? Can you give a ride to someone for a month? We need your suggestions. And is it in the service? Anyway, see me or Lynn Marie or Murray. And there's forms back there. So if you fill out the form, turn them into us, we can add your list of items. And every week we're going to be reminding you about these things and showing up to get you to donate something fun for this auction. So anyway, mark your calendar, save the date, Saturday, April 12th, here. Don't forget, write it down. Put it in your calendar now, right? Make sure you put it in your calendar. Very good, thank you. Take fun, bye-bye.
Okay, now I want to go just for the spectacle. Okay, so for further details on these and other upcoming meeting days and times, please refer to the Community Connections email that comes out on Thursday. If you do not get that, please contact our office administrator, and she will get you hooked up. And on that note, I will now turn the microphone over to Reverend Maggie Yenoki.
Do I have to top that? Hope not. Hope not. Yeah. Eventually, in different ways. Yeah. Yeah. But good morning, everyone. It is super great to see all of you here and to be here with you. I've got a couple of personal announcements. One is that pastoral care training survey that's in the Community Connections, if you're just slightly interested in maybe taking this training, please fill that out, because I'm going to schedule the training according to the way people respond. And we didn't want to say who could be in it or not. It's wide open to anyone who's interested in learning how to serve our congregation in that way. Another one is that while I did love getting all those texts from all of you earlier this week, that scam that went out was a very unfortunate thing. So the scammers are at it again. Somehow they got hold of one of our directories and sent texts to everyone in it that I was asking for gift cards, or, you know, who knows what they'll come up with next. So please please know that I will never ask you for anything by text or even from the pulpit. I just introduced the offertory. I'll let Mark ask for all the donations.
I knew it wasn't you, because it first said, "Dear Moninger,"
Oh,
and then it said, "Can you give me some credit gift cards? God bless you."
oh yeah. That would not be for you. Yeah.
Send that to me.
No, I wouldn't, unless you sneezed. Yeah. And even then, I don't know. Yeah. But just please be aware, because some people have fallen for it in the past, because they're experts at making it sound like you when they steal your identity like that. So let's begin our worship. And we do that by sounding our bowl, and we ring it 3 times. But this week I have a different invocation that I've written that was shared with me by one of my teachers, Dr. Sarah Kerr, and it was inspired by Betty Bergstrom. Some of you may have heard of her, but I used my minister's license and worded it for us. We come together and we open this sacred space on behalf of learning and healing. We do so with intention, reverence, and compassion. We hold this gathering as a heart place for transformation and growth. Growth that we will be a space that nurtures healers and healing. That we have grown our capacity to be of service in our community. And that it brings us each and together into a deeper relationship with Spirit. We dedicate our work together as a gift of gratitude to the past, a gift of healing to the present, and a gift of love into the future. We invite the divine to be present, that which is known by many names, and it is the source of all that is. We invite the animal people, the plant people, the stone people, and the other good people that we share this land with. We seek to expand our perception of life to include many different points of view. We invite the ancestors to guide us wisely and lovingly. And we call the ancestors of this land, the ancestors of our blood and our family lines, and the ancestors of our hearts. We ask our own wisest and deepest selves to show up, to keep us clear and aligned with the energies of growth, healing, and service, so that our lives can serve to bring those teachings back to a culture that has lost them. And we invite the future beings, those who will come, to help build the work that we're here to do and open the way for the work that is ahead, to create a world that will be healthy and safe for children and all beings. And together, we'll all say this together, we'll clap 3 times as we say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's sing our welcoming song. It's number 389 in our hymnal, Gathered Here. We'll sing it through 3 times. Please be seated. For a minute anyway. As a symbol of our faith, we light a chalice at each of our gatherings to represent the values and rich history of Unitarian Universalism that offer us belonging and hold us in community. So as I invite Amy and Alan Randall to come forward to light our chalices, let's hear the words of Pema Chodron. Compassion is not a relationship between the healer and the wounded. It's a relationship between equals. It's only when we know our own darkness well that we can be present with the darkness of others. Compassion becomes real when we recognize our shared humanity. That's good. Thank you. Now I invite you to stand again as we sing our anthem, Spirit of Life, and then we'll recite our covenant together. As a covenantal faith, we have written this covenant for ourselves, that we express together how we will be in relationship with one another. We affirm that love is the greatest purpose of this congregation. The search for truth is our constant star, and service is our prayer. We pledge our hearts, minds, and hands to challenge injustice with courage, to make choices for a healthier planet, and to live out our Unitarian Universalist values every day as beloved community. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all that is sacred in life. Please be seated. Everyone but Robert, as he comes forward for our wisdom tale, our time for all ages.
Good morning, everybody. Today's wisdom tale is called Healing Through Story, and it's by Erica Shadowsong. It opens with a quote from Julia Cameron from The Artist's Way. It says, "The reward for attention is always healing." She writes, "As a storyteller, I favor myths and folk tales. I've never been one to tell personal stories. Then a virtual contest opportunity arose that invited me to confront this aversion. I told the story I would have to be true and personal. A funny story did come to mind, but to tell it, I'd have to examine a part of my life I never talked about. Thinking about my roots makes me feel lost. My various identities feel shallow, in flux, unformed. I was raised in a very small community that can best be described as a cult. It's not a word I like to use, but it's the one that will most help people understand what I've lost. Sometimes I think the things that might give me value are the things that I was denied. Answers not just about who I am, but also about to whom I belong, Who is my community? Who are my people? For example, though I'm of African and Latin descent, my exposure to my heritage was non-existent. Instead, we conform to the group and its norms of whiteness. I am not who you come to when you want to understand the Black church. I didn't know that some Black families celebrate Kwanzaa. I've never learned how to wrestle my hair into the perfect smooth styles of my grandmother's aunts and cousins seem effortlessly to do. By the time I reached college, I would have a long road ahead to reclaim the fact that my experience, with all its weirdness, is still a Black experience. My struggle to find a solid identity is also true for other parts of me, as an artist, as a pagan, and as a person. Even as if everything that's led me here are only interruptions and obstacles instead of part of what makes me the more whole person that I am today. That shift for me occurred by telling my story instead of trying to pretend like it never happened. By the time I was done editing the funny story, I had crafted a piece of art mined from a time in my life that I never thought I would be able or willing to share with others. In my weird, embarrassing upbringing, I found hope about exploring the telling of my own storied life with the love and respect that it deserves. And now, if the children who are here can come up and get the chalice, you guys can sing us to class.
Have fun, you guys. Learn lots. Each of us here tends to the good care of our congregation in a variety of ways. Some of that is our support for the Beta Center's food bank at Inland Valley Hope Partners. We have a big red wagon up here. We like to fill it up with non-perishable food items. And the other gifts that we bring are the immeasurable offerings of our time and our talent. Some come from the financial gifts that we offer. But because our care for one another is so essential in these unusual days, we understand the possibility that while some of us have stepped up and given beyond their annual pledge, others are struggling and need to simply receive for a time. We are all generous in contributing to the sustenance that we seek together. In our congregation, we voted to commit 50% of our offering plate that is not earmarked as a pledge to be shared with a nonprofit that aligns with our values. For the months of February and March, we have selected to share our plate with the Unitarian Universalist Justice Ministry of California, also known as UUJMCA. It is their mission to advance justice in our state by cultivating and connecting leaders and communities. They empower the public voice of those who share our Unitarian Universalist values. Their ministry supports our congregation in the efforts to increase the skills of civic engagement and faith-rooted organizing, so that UUs across California can educate, organize, and advocate for public policies that uphold the worth and dignity of every person and promote respect for the interdependent web of all existence. So as we enjoy the beautiful offertory Lily has prepared for us, I offer the gratitude of this congregation for your gifts, and I invite those in the sanctuary to come forward with your generous offerings. Good intro to joys and sorrows. Lily, you are such a joy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For those who are visiting and maybe, will be visiting a little more often in the future, one of the things we do as community to get to know each other a little better and to share the things that we just want everyone to know. We put them on these little yellow slips of paper, and there's a basket in the back. And one great joy is that Patrick and Marlene are here tonight, or today, sorry. For those who don't know, they were members of this congregation for a long time, their family, and they moved to Colorado to be closer to family over there, and we have missed you so much. Even though we can see you through our little cameras, you know, it's good to have you here in person. Blessings, blessings. I have one from Pat and Betsy. It says, a good friend of Pat's has died. Frances was 58 years old, a beautiful woman with humor, vivaciousness, warmth, and kindness. Please think good thoughts for Frances and for everyone who loved her. Oh, even you, especially you. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry. I have a couple other difficult things to share. One is personal. My son is buried under 100 inches of snow in Fulton, New York. Can you believe it? But that's how winter used to be, when I used to walk uphill both ways. I said, that's nothing. That's nothing. And also, I'm asking that we participate with the rest of the world, and we weave our thoughts of compassion into a web of just generous kindness and support for Pope Francis and for our Catholic family and friends. And with all of the change that's rocking this blue boat planet that we're on right now, our Catholic kin really need that safe holding space in their Pope's health crisis. Yeah, so thank you for that. And now another great joy, almost as great as Marlene and Patrick. We have a new member today. We have Lynn Sexton. If you would come forward, she'll be signing our membership book and becoming a member. I told Lynn that we always, often the way we have our new members come in is we have a big shindig, but I don't want to wait, you know. We'll have a little shindig today, and then maybe in the future we'll celebrate you again. And this butterfly was on the floor, so. Oh my goodness. Yeah, for our prayer and meditation time, I have a short prayer, and then we will share in a time of shared silence, and then we'll close with our gentle song. It's a prayer about our community, and it's one that I read from Stephen Charleston, Reverend Stephen Charleston. He is an Indigenous elder and an Episcopal priest. He wrote this beautiful prayer, and I want it to fit us. It does fit us. He was speaking about a group that he gathers online who does this work, and I said, well, that really describes our congregation as well. So let this fall on us, and let us step up and live into it. This community is a shelter for those who feel overwhelmed, and sometimes we all do. It's a resource bank for those working for peace and justice. It's a place of meditation for those following a spiritual path. It's a circle of prayer for persons of all tradition. It's a collective vision for the building of community. And it's a liminal space for any who seek to find or to be found by the Spirit of life. Beautiful, thank you. I have a treat for you. Our reading today, written by Claire Dubois, will be read for us by Max Quistet.
Advice from a Tree, by Claire Dubois. If in doubt, share. All that you have and all that you need are right there. If you stand, sink your roots, open, and allow, unravel. You were not born to shun your light. You receive, radiate, and transmit. You are embodied light. Turn your face and your heart to the sky and say, yes, I am more. Grow, and in your growth, let your living be safe harbor for their lives and hearts of others. Do not define yourself by what you have, but by what you give, how you let go, and how you love. Dig deep, for in the shadows you will find the way back to self and source, the true depth of your capacity to feel your unbroken promise to life, and the grit around which your pearl will form. Say yes. There is only one being here fully. Face all that comes your way, whether reverent or dominant, whether your life appears valued or not. Receive yourself. Know that life crafted the perfection of you, that life breathes you. Be total. Whether shedding your leaves, standing naked in the rain, showing the bare bones of your soul, or dropping into the long, deep rest, give it all that you have, and let each season, each experience, have its way with you. Bear witness, take this stand called life as a privilege it is. Observe, hold space, be still, listen. Allow the infinite to penetrate. Be your own wise guide. Know that the roots of you cross all time and space. Above all, wake up to who and what you are, so that this life can be lived as a prayer, as a dance, as a gift of gratitude, as a kiss on the wind that sparks briefly and blesses the hearts of all, before falling back into the intimate ocean of ultimate togetherness.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. My husband, George, and I walked over to the Old Town area of Monrovia on Friday night. We set out to grab some dinner from the food trucks and do a little shopping at the street fair that we have near the business district over on Myrtle every week. The mood is normally very village-friendly at this event, with families and neighbors strolling about the streets. It's closed to vehicles and filled with vendor tents. But this year, it's been less crowded and noticeably heavy with gloom, especially since the windstorm and fires on January 7th and 8th. This week's street fair felt just a bit more upbeat for the first time. The temperatures were noticeably warmer, and there were more people out and about. We enjoyed visiting with several neighbors, some we hadn't seen since before the Christmas holidays. But after greeting several friendly faces with smiles and responding with cordial, how you doing? How are you? We met up with a young family that we're closer friends with, and we quickly got right to the center of our check-in. The kind of hello that just will not settle for, oh, everything's good kind of response. We went directly to the mix of difficult events and emotions that we're all carrying, and how hard it is to juggle everything and keep centered enough to stay well and have enough compassion left to do anything to help make anything any better. And we better do it quick before the next shoe drops. And we agreed that we're all being challenged like never before to navigate uncharted waters, carrying unfamiliar baggage to unknown destinations. And we agreed that we're all happy, hurting, and healing, all swirling in a kind of an unholy waltz. Or maybe your experience is a bit more like magic, chaos, and poetry. But even the magic in our days feels a bit like privilege when you know how much fear and suffering there is in our communities right now. A woman that I go to the gym with is afraid to shop at her Mexican market because that's where ICE hangs out. My neighbor and I were sharing how we hesitate to step too deeply into our own joy right now, and how much privilege we have being able to say we're doing okay, and that we're able to keep going in our lives 1 month after January 20th. But this neighbor is a young mom in her 30s in the USA, able to work from home, raising their 5-year-old son with her actor husband, walking their rescue terrier at the street fair in Southern California. It sounds perfect, but they're both reluctant to say they're well. They won't speak the words, "We are happy." And how sad is that? And at the same time, how harmful is that for their 5-year-old son? But we know it isn't just her, and it isn't uncommon. I think I can count the times on one hand that I've laughed this year, laughed really hard. And I know we're all feeling the weight of these hard things that are pushing us down as we try to reconfigure our structure here in the church in a way that's sustainable and still a good fit. We know we've got work to do, and if we're going to be able to stay in the ring and be of service in this time of transition, and we're doing all that we can and more. Next Sunday's Love, Laughter, and Lunch. I call it the wrong thing. I always make 3 things out of it: love, laughter, and lunch. But that's love and laughter lunch, I guess. So excuse my retitling. But whatever you call it, it's a great example of ways that we can make sure we're allowing happiness and bringing laughter out. Can we please? Let's laugh. Let's allow ourselves to say we are happy and allow happiness in and breathe laughter out. It reminds me of our hymn, "When I breathe in peace. And when I breathe out love." Because happy is allowed. It's necessary, really, without a roadmap or any kind of historic record to guide us. This is all new stuff. We need to find a new way toward a sense of happiness that we need in these terribly hard and hurtful days, so we can teach our 5-year-olds that laughter is good medicine and knock-knock jokes are as important as vegetables. But let's really ask, can we hold compassion and grief for all that is crumbling in the world and still allow our hearts to feel happy? Let's say yes and prove it to be true. Can we witness and speak up against the harm that's being done to our brothers and sisters and allow happy thoughts and laughter to still season our days? Can that please be okay? And knock-knock jokes can be a staple of our well-being. I have one that was recorded for me by my grandson, and I'm hoping, Jaryus, if you could please try to play that audio clip. I hear your voice, but I'm not sure what you're saying.
Cover what?
Knock knock jokes.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Tank.
Tank?
Yeah.
Tank who?
You're welcome.
Oh, gosh. Thanks, Jaryus. Yeah, that kid. He makes me happy. I am happy and I'm grateful but I still squelch it in conversations with those I meet. Is it helpful to others when we join the chorus of complaints and groans? But can we still be happy and still be engaged in what they're suffering? I am happy, but I don't live that out in public. So how can we allow ourselves to be happy, resilient resistors? Like Dr. Cornell West tells us, justice is what love looks like in public. So there's a good place to measure from. And what can we use our breath for to speak up for those who cannot breathe? How do we do that? We're here to serve in this time of transformation, and we are deeply grateful to be in community, this community. It is a joy to be on this incredibly complicated adventure with you. And maybe it's also resonant that we extend a sense of communion to include the idea that we can be happy and also hurting. We are happy, and we're honored to be called to hold the hurt of the world rather than be one who causes harm or is oblivious to the suffering of others. But yet it's too much to hold alone. And without community supporting us, we're much more likely to burn out or suffer from compassion fatigue, which is a very real condition. We are all hurting quite a bit right now and struggling under the weight of so many global heartaches and the intense frustration and resistance to our nation's government and all who cheer it on, and the hurt that comes closer to home from the financial crisis we find ourselves in. But we're happy. We're happy, but we're hurting. Cheers and gratitude to everyone who is helping us get through toward healing. The tried and true paradigms of church governance and guidance historically offer some ideas for ways to maneuver through fiscal troubles and journeys onto the paths of healing, but they often teach us to see ourselves as projects that need fixing. Or they discourage us into decisions that aren't really best for us in any way. Healing can become an endless spiral of seeking to be more than we are, tied to a reward system where our worth depends on our progress. Progress that is measured by the very paradigms of supremacy and patriarchy that we're here to overturn. Many advise that we need to fit ourselves into well thought out programs with linear outlines of how health should be progressing. And there can be wisdom in there, and there is good healing that can come, but none of it lends any credit to the benefits of healing that come from a deeper self-understanding, communal healing of our relationships. We're going to talk more about that next week. Embracing our authentic identity as we emerge from life-changing events. And make choices for deeper spiritual journeys that can lead us to an outcome beyond what we could ever imagine. That's where I want to go. That's where we should all go. But healing is hard. But we do hard things. Our tears are the nourishment of our certain emergence. An emergence that we create from our happy, hurting, healing experience, where we're able to fully stand in the power of who we really are and what we're meant to do as a community in the world at this time. Our flourishing honors the pain of our past, and our ancestors want us to be able to go beyond what they were able to do, to flourish in ways that they didn't even have available to them. And they stand behind us, telling us it's just right. It is right for us to be happy, hurting, and healing as we walk in the world. And as author Linda Hogan tells us in her book, Dwellings, A Spiritual History of the Living World, I'm going to close with her words. May this fall well on you. Walking, I can almost hear the redwoods beating, and the oceans are above me here, rolling clouds heavy and dark. It is winter, and there is smoke from the fires. It is a world of elemental attention, of all things working together, listening to what speaks in the blood. Whichever road I follow, I walk in the lands of many gods, and they love one another. Suddenly, all my ancestors are behind me. Be still, they say. Watch and listen. You are the result of the love of thousands. Let's sing our sending song, Go Lift It Up. It's number 1057, and the lyrics will be on the screen. Let's stand, please. Let's offer our unison benediction as we bless one another. As we close our time together and extinguish our chalice flame, thanks, Amy. May light shine through us to strengthen us for the way ahead that we cannot yet see. May our lives serve as a light in this world that we care so much about. Let's sit down and enjoy the postlude. For my closing words, I want to share something I just learned this week, a new acronym. It's GFATA, and it stands for Let's Go for a Drink After. So, GFATA, everybody, let's go get a drink. But remember, you, each of you are the result, and even you, Sophie, you're the result of the love of thousands. Let that, hey, that's not. Sophie wants to tell everyone. Yeah, so let's remember that. Let's share that with other people too. It will help as we go in the world. And let's enjoy Marlene and Patrick for a bit.